The M7 howitzer motor carriage, or better known by its alias, M7 Priest, was an American-designed self-propelled gun that primarily saw combat in World War II and the Korean War. Around 4,200 M7s were produced, and their success paved the way for the US to embrace the concept of mobile artillery support. In 1941, with World War II well underway, US military higher-ups foresaw a need for an effective SPG. Contrasting the traditional M1A2 howitzers, which needed to be physically towed, the Army envisioned mechanized artillery units that could independently move and fire to constantly support frontline troops. Adding on, it was preferred to implement a fully tracked chassis instead of a half-track because of better mobility off-road and the strength to brace against the howitzer's powerful recoil. Initial prototypes included the T-19 HMC half-track and the T-32 HMC, which lacked the distinguishing machine gun mount. Eventually, the M7 HMC was born and was officially put into mass production in February of 1942, with its assembly primarily contracted with the American Locomotive Company and the Federal Machine and Welder Company. Opting for practicality, the M7 utilized the chassis of an American medium tank common at the time, named the M3 Lee. Implemented within this chassis was the vertical volute spring suspension system and a 9-cylinder Continental R975 whirlwind engine, producing 400 horsepower and giving a max speed of 25 miles per hour. The vehicle also had a range of around 125 miles. The hull of the M7 offered a mostly light armor profile, boasting an open top and low to moderate armor thickness, offering enough protection from potential shrapnel and small arms fire, while importantly still retaining mobility for its role as mechanized artillery. Some M7s stored spare tracks as additional armor. Handrails were placed on the side for crew members to climb in and out of the vehicle. The M7's 105mm howitzer had an effective range of around 7 miles and an average fire rate of 8 rounds per minute. Its gun elevation was between -5 to 35 degrees, which was strikingly lower than the 65-degree elevation of the towed 105mm artillery pieces. In order for M7s to reach steeper gun elevation, the vehicles had to position themselves on an incline. Such an issue foreshadowed future improvements in later conflicts. Depending on the model, M7s had an ammo storage ranging from 57 to 69 shells. Nonetheless, some M7s opted to tow ammo trailers that held an additional 40 rounds. The M7 was given a 50 caliber machine gun for self-defense on its ring mount, which allowed for a full 360-degree range of fire. The similarity of the 50 cal circular mount to a church pulpit gave rise to the nickname Priest. The number of crew members fluctuated across vehicles, from 4 to 8 members. A few M7 Priests were modified to be armored personnel carriers by removing the main cannon, increasing troop capacity to 12. Most importantly, there is a commander, driver, gunner, and 1 to 4 loaders. Sometimes, one person also doubled as a radio operator. With the open top, conditions were less cramped than standard tanks, with the M7 having a retractable flap that offered direct field of vision for the driver without needing to open a hatch. The US lended many M7s to the British. Notably, the Priest first saw combat in the North African theater at the Second Battle of El Alamein. The vehicle was highly praised by the 8th Army, and despite the M7 Priest using different ammo from standard British rounds, the British Army still ordered around 5,000 of these SPGs to be delivered from the US. By 1943, the US began relying on the M4A3 Shermans. With their production came along a shift for M7s to implement the M4 chassis instead of the original M3 Lees. Along with the new chassis also came a new engine, the V84GAA. These changes resulted in the M7B1. The M7 Priests participated in a wide scope of campaigns. In the European theater, they were present in Italy and were a part of the invasion of Normandy and the eventual Battle of the Bulge, where M7s were crucial in countering the aggressive push of Axis forces. The M7 HMCs also participated in the Pacific theater, including campaigns at Burma and Guadalcanal. Post-World War II, M7s provided artillery fire during the Korean War. Due to the new battlefield's mountainous terrain, U.S. military personnel decided to raise the howitzer mount for higher angle fire. The pulpit was also lifted, offering increased cover to the machine gun user. These major changes resulted in the M7B2. By the mid-1950s, the M7 series were phased out and sold to other nations where they continued to see combat. Ultimately, the M7 HMC Priest and the M7B2 were versatile artillery units that played a significant role in multiple conflicts. Come check both of them out in person at the American Military Museum in South El Monte, California, where our M7 has been recently renovated by volunteers. The museum is open on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Visit tankland.com for more information. We hope to see you there.